Hello, everyone. I'm Adam at Demiplane. Thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. It is a pleasure to see you all. You know, the thing that no one, really talks about with me is this active imagination. I visualize, actual people out there that I'm talking to, and you all look wonderful. And it's kind of like we're, I don't know, all in this just really cool kind of vintage theater, at least today. That's what I'm seeing. So it's a pleasure to see you with my mind's eye, and I appreciate you joining me today. We're going to go through all of the updates that are happening here at Demiplane, what we have been working on, what's live as of the last week or so, and then what is currently in progress, and then what is on deck after that. So this is a great way to get a look at what we're focused on currently and what we are planning to focus on next. It's not getting too deep into long-term plans. If we talked about the long-term plans that we have here at Demiplane, it's going to take far more than 30 minutes once a week for us to talk about that. We've got some awesome stuff, that we're dreaming up and conceptualizing for the future. But this is a great way to keep a finger on the pulse of everything that we've got going on. It's also a perfect way for you to ask questions. So if you have questions out there, you can ask those right now. All you have to do in the Twitch chat is type the word question, followed by the question itself, and our magical Demibot will be collecting those, and I will answer as many as I have time to get to at the end of the stream. And then finally, let's not gloss this over. We are giving away not one, but 3 Marvel Multiverse core rule books today. So Marvel Multiverse RPG, it is a mouthful of a title for the game, but the game itself is a really great streamlined game for you to get into, especially if you are a comic or superhero fan. I saw a couple of reviews this last week that said just that it is a really great way to get a taste of this wonderful hobby that we're all playing in. So getting your hands on the core rule book is something that maybe you can share the love with some new players. That Marvel fan, that Black Widow fan that has never actually agreed to play, but you've been trying to talk them into it for years. This might be a really great way for them to take the plunge. So good luck to everyone out there. Pay attention to the prompts in chat for that giveaway. Latest updates on the Pathfinder Nexus front. We had a whole slew of books that came out right ahead of Gen Con, and now we have moved on to some of the new ones that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks here. The next installment of Sky King's Tomb, which I adore the title of this one, Cult of the Cave Worm, is coming. We're also going to have our first touch of Pathfinder Society, stuff going on, and so the team is starting to prep for that for the year of unfettered exploration. We are live with, if you missed this on the character sheet, we've got containers live on the Pathfinder character sheet, and then incoming today possibly, but I think either way this week. Should be we're going to have custom lore skills support, so that's another one that's been on that short-term list, and all of that should be good to go as of this week. And as always, this is something that in the beta, we're getting this out there. We think that the solution is a pretty elegant solution, but we value your feedback, so if you have it, share it with us in the forums, Discord, and other places. And then, of course, we now have the content. We've talked about the core remaster for a while here, and we've talked about the incredible remaster program that we have going on here, where if you own the core rulebook or you own the game mastery guide, you are able to get free upgrades to the remastered versions or remastered replacements or counterparts. And we also have a sale going on, I think, until tomorrow, I believe, is the last day of that. So with that, the core remaster updates, we are working pretty hard on that. And we have a few other things going on the Pathfinder front that we can't even talk about yet. So lots and lots of activity going on with Pathfinder. One of the things that we know is looming out there for us to tackle before too much longer is the performance. And so, if you're out there and things are taking too long, just hold on. We're going to be able to address that. It's one of those things that, as I've shared before, we're not actually worried about that. We have been far more focused on making sure that the flow and that we're capturing the things that you need to play a character. And here before too much longer, we're going to focus on really tightening up that performance. And speaking of that, as I shared last week with Avatar Legends Nexus, we have our character tools available now. Not saying that Pathfinder's going to be exactly like that. We think that we're going to be able to get it pretty close from a performance perspective. But Avatar is a game that doesn't have as much complexity as Pathfinder 2e, but at the same time, that is more in line with what you're going to be able to expect for performance. And we still have some things that we can do for Avatar as well. So continuing to tighten the screws on the platform here, and really excited about what that means for the future and for the other games that we're going to support, and for the continued support of these great games like Pathfinder and Avatar. So on the Avatar front, we also have Republic City that is coming out. We actually are confirming some of the details around the release and date being one of those. But we are going to have that available ASAP, and we're working with Magpie to get that date. Marvel Multiverse RPG, as I said, the core rulebook's live. You can win a copy of that here today, but the character tools are incoming. I was working on them yesterday, so we have screens that are already coming together, and really looking forward to you getting your hands on this. This Marvel game is very unique in that, with the other two builders that we've done for the other two games, and honestly, most games are going to be like this. You're going to kind of come to the first screen of the builder and start detailing an original character. And with Marvel, you absolutely can do that. If you have been dreaming up a superhero for years and you want to capture them in this game, you can do that. But also, one of the really big draws is that you can play existing Marvel characters. And so when you come into the builder, we'll start showing some pretty pictures of that within the next couple of weeks, I imagine here. But you will be able to select from, it's over 100. I can't remember the exact number of heroes that are in this core rulebook. And villains. Let me not just say heroes, because those villains are constantly getting conscripted into, doing some kind of good on Thunderbolt's teams, and those kind of things. But there are so many characters, and it is almost like getting to one of those awesome Konami Street Fighter character select kind of things, where you can just go through there and select the character that you want to explore. You can select that character and then customize them and play with them in the game. So those are in progress and making good progress, and we can't wait to share them with you. Continuing on for Vampire, it is a very similar story. We are doing Vampire because we've expanded our team at least slightly. We're going to continue to do that, but as we've expanded the team, we're working on a couple of games in parallel. And of course, Vampire is the game that we're actually working on, as the first priority here. And so all the things that I just said for Marvel about progress and getting screens together and all that is true for Vampire as well. And really excited about that progress. And I know that having played Vampire many times, in the past, several years that the new edition has been out, it always is a little bit of a speed bump when it comes to, hey, getting this character together. And being able to have a tool like this that where you're going to be able to build the character and get right into play as quickly as this is going to be a really great thing for the game. And so we're really looking forward to getting that out as well. Same thing. I think you'll start to see some screens of that in the next few weeks here. In case you missed it, I won't talk about this every week because there won't be a ton of work that we are doing on this week to week until we start to get the formal playtest material from Paizo. But Starfinder is coming out with a second edition that I personally am very excited about, fully compatible with Pathfinder second edition. And I think that the possibilities that affords is really, really intriguing and exciting. But that is, coming in, next year, and we are going to be there from the start of that full play test release with Starfinder Nexus. Children of Erte, we had a silly episode last week where we, the cast was playing characters in a game like Dungeons and Dragons called V&V, Vaults and Vagabonds. So if you missed that, you can check that out on the VOD. But we will be back with a new episode tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then character tools roadmap. I saw some discussion out there in this. I believe it was in the forums earlier this week. And so, we can kind of, we're willing to broadcast, this is our current list. We will always reserve the right to change our stance on something if the details and circumstances change under that. And so, this might not be exactly how it all is going to go, but this is what we are looking at currently, at least from an ordering perspective. And so, we will, I'm not trying to be a tease with that redacted there, but I'm just trying to kind of broadcast out there to everyone that there is another game that we haven't talked about yet that is likely to kind of be a slide in here because, again, as we're getting the team to a place where we can work in parallel on certain things, those are possibilities that we're trying to do. And so it is possible that we'll have another one, kind of come in there. Let's see. I think that is it. Trying to blow through today. It is time for that giveaway. So pay attention to all the instructions in chat. Hopefully you've already entered, and good luck to everyone. We're giving away 3 of the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game core rule books. So then let's jump into questions. Let's see what we've got. I've only got a couple of questions right now. So if you have questions, I'm going to sit here and talk, and if I get through all of these questions, I'm going to cut out of here and I'm going to get back to work. But if you have questions, you still got time here. You can get those in. Otherwise, I'm gonna jump on. All right, let's see. Anchor 89. How did Demiplane get so awesome? Does Travis and Pete get an awesome sauce imported from awesome land and just bathe you all in it? Thanks for being awesome. The speed and quality of the work are inspiring. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you at least attempting to get some questions in there as well, instead of it just being a statement. So do really appreciate that. But that also brings us down to just one more. Oh, I saw one more come in there. So again, ask those questions if you got them, but appreciate the sentiment, Anchor 89. Raogung, any progress on 5e? Yes, there is progress. And honestly, I'm realizing now that 5e was not in the screens that we looked at there. But yes, there's been a lot of progress on 5e. So we are gearing up for early access, and that early access is debuting on the 5th of September. So the 5th of September is going to be the early access launch date for 5e Nexus. We are going to have a really great slate of initial content. One of them I can't talk about, quite yet, But the others we've got, we're going to have the the Grim Hollow Monster Grimoire from Ghostfire is going to be available there. We're going to have Tome of Beasts 1 and 2 from Kobold Press, and the Tales of the Valiant Quick Start available at the start of that early access for 5e. And of course, we are going to have the SRD in its entirety, in the digital reader, in the game compendium. So that is what early access is. That's what we're going to have available to us. And ultimately, oh, hold on, I'm going to mute. Frog in my throat. All right, I think we're good now. But yeah, we're gonna have a great initial slate there for 5e Nexus early access. And as you saw just a moment ago, character tools are coming. They're kind of on that shorter list of what character tools we'll be focusing on here in the future. But yeah, it's going to be fantastic to be able to have a lot of that content just available to you to browse on your phone, to be able to quickly search some really great third-party content. And we're going to, of course, continue to add more and more of that to 5e Nexus as we go. All right, got a few more in here, and I will run through those. Illuminated INC, any chance of Pathfinder 1e getting added to Demiplane? I will never say never, but I would not bet on the odds that it's going to happen. It is not currently something that we have planned for first edition of Pathfinder. But as I said, never say never. If we at some point in time determine that there's enough demand for that and interest in it, it is a possibility, but it is not currently something that we're looking at. Discordian Nest. Sorry if this has already come up. That's okay. That happens every week. But that's great because it helps us get information out there. But will we be seeing Hunter and Werewolf joining vampires? So yeah, Hunter is already there. There is a Hunter Nexus that has the first couple of Hunter products in our early access state, which is available in the digital reader and the game compendium. We will be, as you saw probably earlier, we will be working on Hunter character tools as well. And the same thing for Werewolf. Werewolf is definitely something that we have planned and something that we want to get out there. Kato Flex, what is your favorite power set in the new Marvel Multiverse RPG core book? Man, that is such a tough one. Like from a power set, I'm cheating a little bit here, and I'm looking. So, I just want to make sure that I'm not missing something that I really care about. I mean, it has to be telekinesis because telekinesis is by far my favorite superpower. It's not even close. How much I like telekinesis. So I have to go with telekinesis. But I like several of the others. I really like the way that Charles Xavier is portrayed in the game, and so telepathy is a great power set. So I think at the end of the day, I like the the mentalics, the mentalism, psionics. And so I would go with that. But I also like energy control a lot because energy control has just a ton of variability and flexibility, and so energy control is really strong. I think that it's also going to really strongly depend on what kind of rank characters I'm playing, and so I'm still going to like. I'm going to like other powers if I'm playing rank, 2 or 3 characters as well. But I would say if I have to boil it down to a favorite, it has to be telekinesis because, definitely my favorite superpower. Underhooker, how did the frog get into your throat? I don't know, but I think it's trying to crawl back up again. It's honestly not that early, but for me in my part of the world, But I do sleep pretty late for a lot of the people that are here, in the South. But that is because, for the most part, for the last multiple years, I have worked with the West Coast, and so I hold different hours for the most part, and so I don't know if this is a byproduct of only getting up, an hour or two ago, or what, but yeah, that's uh, and also thinking about that, I don't know if that's just a Southern saying. Is that just a Southern saying that there's a frog in my throat, or do people, Northwest, and everywhere else use that expression? I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, not an actual frog, and it could be. There are so many things that I say that I'm like, yeah, like somebody the other day was getting after me because I said, yeah, you just hide and watch. And apparently that expression is not something that people say everywhere. So, but yeah, you just hide and watch, and see what happens. Let's see. The Molly J, will character tools launch for 5e with early access? No. I think I already answered that a little bit earlier, but no. Early access first. Are there also, will there eventually be any sort of integration tools with various VTTs so you can use Demiplane for character management while using other VTTs? The answer to that is yes. Pretty emphatically yes. Like we want you to be able to use your preferred VTT. There are many of them out there today, and it's I've been in the industry for a while now, and it's hard to tell. Um, if you ask 10 people, you're going to get at least 6 different answers about what your favorite VTT is, and that's great. It's great that that's there, that much variety that fans can plug into what they prefer. And so, for the character management experience here on Demiplane, we want to make that available in whatever that preference is for you and your group. And so we will absolutely have API style things that will happen in the future. It's something that naturally we are not focused on right this moment because we're trying to get the character tools themselves where they need to be. But when we feel like we are in a good spot with that, we will move on. And being able to kind of integrate or export into your favorite VTT is one of the things on the roadmap for sure. So yes on that. Coming back to 5e just for a second, I also wanted to say that one of the reasons that we come out with things in, again, this is just a label we've put on it, early access. Early access for us means that you have this material available in the digital reader and the game compendium. We absolutely could just hold that back until we had the character tools ready to go for a certain game. And in some instances, we might do that. We might launch all of them together, especially now that the platform is in place and we look out ahead of us for new games that are potentially launching and all those sorts of things. It is absolutely a possibility that character tools, we won't go to early access for one of the Nexuses. One of the reasons that we do release, though, into early access is we have found, and we've gotten feedback to confirm this for us, that the digital reader and game compendium for whatever that content is or whatever that game is really useful. And it's something that is worthwhile to have even as you wait for the character tools. And so given that, that's one of the reasons that we go ahead and do it. And naturally, if you unlock any content in that early access period, you're always going to get the full benefits of that content for any of the tools that we're putting on the platform. And that would include, the character tools or other things that we haven't made yet. So, it really is that we have decided to go that route because we've gotten overwhelming feedback that the digital reader and game compendium is really useful to have out there. So I kind of wanted to explain, why we do that. Because, for instance, in the video gaming industry, early access means different things. and it's more akin to alpha or beta testing often, and that's not how we use that term, and not the reason that we're not doing that for polish reasons or anything. We're doing it because the features are useful, even without the character tools, and then they become more useful when the character tools do eventually land for that Nexus. All right. The Molly J, is there a timeline for the release of character tools? For 5e, no. What I can tell you is that we will start 5e. We will start 5e this before the end of this year for certain. We will be starting them. 5e is going to be more complicated than the other games, even Pathfinder to a degree, not because of the rules themselves, but because of the breadth of types of rules that we're going to have to support and the number of different publishers. And so, I always say, if you start a question for with words like timeline or when or whatever, that I don't answer that here, because in software development, that's a recipe for disappointment for everybody involved. But I can say that we are going to start the effort definitely before the end of this year. I think well before the end of this year, and we will see how much we can progress, before the end of the year. And our goal is always going to be to make something incredibly good. And so, if we can't get to that point within this year, then we're going to keep working on it until it's there. So can't quite answer that question, but I can tell you that where it falls in the priority list is we will be working on it this year, and we will keep updating everyone on our progress. Marshall Marshes, will GM tools come by? Sorry if this was asked. Again, no need for the apologies there. GM tools, we have some very some fun stuff planned for GM tools. We are, our product leadership is conceptualizing a lot of things right now, so it's just in that concept phase. We are focused on getting the character tools and character management experience, where it needs to be, and everything that it needs to be at the moment. But once we feel like we are in a good place with that, then things for game masters are absolutely on the roadmap, and something that we're excited to talk about a little bit more in the future. All right, I've got just a minute or two here. I'm going to try to rapid fire through the rest of these. Can you please provide me personally the numbers for the next Powerball drawing? Thanks. Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to help you with that one. Because if I knew them, I would use them myself. Milestone 20. Will there eventually be a way to filter 5e systems so characters can build for the correct? So trying to kind of decipher that last part there. But if this is what you mean, there will be a way. For instance, if you're playing Tales of the Valiant, there are changes in Tales of the Valiant that either go alongside of things like feats, or they completely supplant or replace certain things in the game. And so yes, that is actually part of what I was meaning, that we have to that there's going to be a little bit more complexity with 5e Nexus that we don't have for other games, where we are going to need to make sure that preferences for those type of things are built in, where you can appropriately build characters using the plethora of options that are going to be available on 5e Nexus. But yes, the intent is that if there are certain aspects that are being pulled in, as always, we will focus less on the optional stuff first. But even optional things are things that we will get to, and they will be included as preferences that you can kind of work through and try to get to the point where, if you're wanting to make a pure Tales of the Valiant character without other things getting into the jet stream there, then that is going to be a possibility and something that we will support. Deckard 82 and Pathfinder 2e, will there be crafting mechanics for the research fields like Bomber? I always wonder, this is a word that I've read so many times, and I don't know if I've ever heard someone say it out loud. Chirurgeon, surgeon. Did they just say it like surgeon, but it's spelled anyway? Um, you know, that I'm interested enough. I'll probably go look up a pronunciation of that. But you can never trust what you hear on the internet either these days, because you can go like pronunciation for whatever that word is, and then you get like 10 different variations of it. So we have lost all form of authoritative confirmation on anything. But anyway, somebody maybe can help me out there. Toxicologist and mutagenist for the alchemist. So yes, like we're going to be. I don't know specifically what you mean by crafting mechanics, but yes, the idea is we will allow you to track that as you might need to for a character. So that's what I'll say. Because again, I don't want to say yes to something that I don't know exactly what you mean, but the idea is yes, you will have those things, and they will get the same level of support that things like spells do for spellcasters. All right. I can't wait to read chat with somebody telling me how to pronounce that chirurgeon word. Marshall Marshes, will the X-Men supplement for the Marvel Multiverse be up for pre-order soon on Nexus? I imagine it will. We always work with Marvel on that, on when we can do those kind of things. And so I imagine it will, but no confirmation on that at this point. And then last question, I'm going to get out of here. The Master Nun favorite Lantern Corps member. John Stewart, for sure. John Stewart. Hal Jordan is probably a close second, but because I read Hal Jordan when I was a kid, and all through the parallax stuff and all that. So I'm a fan of Hal. Any character that exhibits enormous willpower is often one of my favorite characters, and so yeah, I love Green Lanterns. But John Stewart is where it's at, and Justice League Unlimited and just the original Justice League animated series just were just so quintessential for so many characters, and fell in love with John Stewart there, and of course have read a lot more material on comics and everything else with John Stewart. So John Stewart is definitely the favorite Green Lantern. All right, that is all the questions. I appreciate everyone joining me today. We're going to be back streaming tonight with a new episode of Children of Erte. So join us at 6 p.m. Pacific for that. And otherwise, hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week, and we will catch you here next week. Later, Gators.